everybody, it's SaskiaSketches and welcome back to the Ultimate Elemental Animal Challenge Part 23. So, it's been a while. I know I promised an update video. This is not that video. I will maybe next week or the week after that try to make a video like explaining everything that happened, everything that's going on currently, what you can expect in the future, especially in regard to like the kind of content that I'll be uploading and when I'll be uploading and stuff like that. But I haven't really decided on much of that yet. I've got a couple ideas, but you know, once I've got all of that figured out, I'll make an update video, and yeah, we'll see what happens to this channel in the future. I've already said this, but I really want to keep uploading. We'll be keeping uploading, hopefully, and you know, we'll see. I'll try my best. And if you miss a video, or like if I miss a video and you notice that I've missed a video, please go check out the community tab, because I post at least a community post every Friday if I can't make a video, so I'll keep you updated through there. But yeah, today I am just, you know, going to be drawing more elemental animals, and unfortunately this is going to be one of the last elemental animal challenge videos, because I've got plenty of characters left, so it's not that, it's just I have not been able to draw them yet. So I have drawn, I think, 2 of the characters for the next video, and as you know, there's always 6 characters and at least 6 drawings, often more than 6, so I've got a couple left to do, but you know, whenever I finish that, I will be sure to upload that video. But yeah, let's get into the artwork. First up, I'm drawing Janji, and Janji is he's a mandrill, and he's a watercolor mandrill, so his element is water. And I had so much fun with this drawing. This one was just really difficult, but really fun too, because I do, or used to do, a lot of watercolor work. So I've got like a watercolor style. And I wanted a character that, you know, to celebrate watercolors because I love them so much. And I wanted him to look like he was painted with watercolors, but as you've noticed, this is a digital piece, so I had to somehow work out how to make this character look like he was drawn or painted with watercolors when in actuality it's digital art. So I had trouble with it. It wasn't easy, but I really like how it turned out. Critter has a couple watercolor brushes, and I did use like a stamp brush for some texture, some like what do you call them, cauliflower effects that you do within, you know, traditional watercolor. And I feel like those like added a little bit, but what really made it look like watercolor, I think, is just my use of color and the like layering of the colors as well. So you see the little bit of shading that I did with the multiplier layer, that really, I feel like, brought it together. And yeah, I also added a little bit of an outline to some of the colors that I used, because when watercolor dries, sometimes if you have a lot of water, the pigment will settle around the edges of the area that you've colored. So try to replicate that a little bit, and just lay it, I guess, but in a very different way than I usually do with digital art. I really tried to get into the the traditional mindset of how, you know, I usually paint with watercolors, and try to just like somehow translate that to digital. And I don't really know what I did, but it worked. I love the way this turned out, because he really looks like watercolor, but not just like watercolor, but like my specific way of using watercolors. And I I'm so chuffed. I really like how this one turned out. I added the last little bit of detail with like some watercolor drips and splatters, because I like to use those every now and then, and I feel like nothing conveys watercolor more than explosions of colour and water everywhere and paint everywhere, and these splashes and stuff are very watercolour-y, I guess. So I really want to add those, and I'm just so happy with how he turned out. I really like this. I like it. It turned out really well. It's super different, but it's also really nice. And here's the final piece. Like, I'm really happy with it. So that was Janji, and now we are on to Hades, and he is a firefox, and I am also really happy with how he turned out. He was also quite a challenge, but in a different way, but he was also fun. So his character is a little bit sassy, and I did want to convey it in like his expression and stuff, but because his fur is really dark, I didn't really get to that much. So the sketch, you'll see him giving like a little bit of a side eye and a little bit of a smile, but it's not that visible in the final result. I had a lot of fun with this sketch because I feel like I've gotten so much better at drawing foxes, because you know, obviously Rox was the very first elemental. He's not the very first that I drew, but one of the very first that I drew, and if I compare that sketch with this one, I've gotten so much better, and I'm so excited about it. I just love it, and I'm just so happy with my progress, I guess. And this one was just so much fun. To shade especially. I really enjoyed doing the fur. Because he's a melanistic fox, and if you have ever seen a melanistic fox, I've got a couple of references here. They're very pretty. They do look a little bit different depending on the individual, I guess. Like some of them are have a little bit more orange to them, some have a little bit more black to them, but they're still very pretty. So here I'm just kind of like mapping out the colours. You see I've also got this cool reference picture that has that's been a little bit edited a little bit to make it look like it's glowing, and I'm like, yes, I'm gonna steal that. So I drew something a little bit closer to that, but I made him actually glow. Or like those bits of his fur actually glow, and I'm just so chuffed with that. It's been out, it's so nice. So you do a little bit of ambient occlusion here, but I had so much fun with just this fur texture, especially. Just really nice. Had a lot of fun with it. I think I went back and forth a little bit more. It was just like trying to add some more texture and everything, and trying to find a good balance between it as well, because I didn't want to do too much texture, but I really like how it turned out. And we're onto the smoke. So I have a little bit of smoke, quite a bit of smoke actually, coming from his it starts at the top of his head, or like his forehead, and it goes all the way down his back, and then at the tip of his tail as well. And I also have another character who's got smoke on him. His name's Atlas. You see him as a little bit of a reference there. I've drawn him in the previous episode, but I drew him a little bit ago, so I wanted to, try and get a little bit better even at my smoke, improve a little bit. So I'm just really excited about this. Smoke is, I know it's not necessarily difficult to draw, but it's really interesting to draw because there's so much detail to it. It's very soft in terms of like shape language, but it's also it's got so much it's very dynamic as well. So it's interesting. You need to get the shapes and stuff like just exactly right, and then the shading as well. And I'm just really happy with how it turned out. I think it turned out well. And here you see me like adding some final details, doing some sparks and stuff, and yeah, that's him. His Hades, I'm just so happy with how he turned out. I'm just like, I just really, really like it. So nice. Turned out well. We're on to Romeo next, and Romeo is a Thorold's deer, which is, I don't know, I'd never heard of it before I did some research for this character. I drew him a little while ago. I've said this before, but these aren't all in order. I haven't really drawn them in order, so some of them I've drawn a little bit before, a little bit earlier, and then others I've drawn. I'm trying to say some I drew a little bit longer ago than others. But anyway, Romeo, so he's a little bit longer ago than the rest, but I still really like how he turned out. So he's a Thorold's deer. I'd never really heard of them before, but before I did some research, and they're also called white-lipped deer sometimes because they've got white lips, and they're really cute. I really like them. They've got a very interesting antler shape, especially, and they're quite big as well. And yeah, I had a lot of fun drawing him. I like his, like the I don't know, like the shape, I guess, of the of this deer, of this deer species, I guess. Like they're nice and big and stocky, and I like especially the shape of the face and the ears. They're nice, I think. I had a little bit of I don't know, not necessarily trouble. I was just playing around a little bit with how I wanted to shade him. So you'll see, like, I've got his white bits, I guess, are a little bit more goldenish because of his gimmick that's coming up in a little bit. But I decided to make them white later on. But yeah, this works in terms of values just as well. I think I just like put on a color layer to turn it white. And yeah, there we go. That's me playing around with it and trying to work it out. Adding some detail, some fur texture. I still really like how this one turned out, even though it's a little bit older. But yeah, there we go. That's, I think, we're starting to do his antlers, and this is really fun because I think I've shown copper on my channel before. I haven't shown Hestia yet. Those are all deer with metal for antlers, and Romeo is called golden antlers. And I am just so happy with how he turned out. It was a struggle. I don't know why, but gold especially is kind of difficult to draw, I guess. I think it's because of the colors, because copper obviously has copper antlers, and copper has a very specific color that doesn't like vary too much, and then a Hestia has got silver antlers, and silver is just black and grey. But gold is quite specific, I guess, in like the kind of colors that is used, but I feel like I was able to work it out, and this is the final piece, and I'm really, really happy with them. I think it turned out very nicely. Up next we have Pandora, and Pandora is a snow leopard. I really, really like snow leopards. They're so fluffy. Honestly, so fluffy. I really, really enjoy drawing all that fluff, like especially on the chest, they're very fluffy, and the tail, oh my gosh, have you seen how thick that tail is? I just want to pet them, but you shouldn't because they'll bite probably. I don't know, or scratch. The wild animals don't do that. I was working off of this reference that I really liked. I edited a little bit, so you'll see that it's like two pictures like mashed up to create this post that I have here, which you've seen me do in the previous examples, as well as kind of how I make my references, like my pose references mainly. Oh gosh, I really, really like how the sketch turned out. It turned out so nicely. And then obviously we're gonna have to do the spots, and the spots are the bane of my existence as usual. Oh, I haven't done them yet. We're moving on to flat colors first, apparently, because I was procrastinating. The Pandora, you'll see this thumbnail that I have at the top. I did a couple thumbnails because I wasn't really sure how how I wanted him to look first, but I'm just so happy with how he turned out. How like his design turned out, I guess, and his colors. I'm just so happy with it. And then, you know, doing the final piece was just like doing the thumbnail but bigger and more detailed. And I was so happy with it. He's a storm cloud snow leopard, I guess. So he's got he's like really nice and dark grey, like these cool grey tones. I'm a sucker for them. And then he's got some like cloudy bits flowing off of him, I guess, like these fur bits. Yeah, now we're on to the spots. Oh goodness me. I don't know. On one hand, I really like drawing spots because they look so cool. Like, they're so cool, but they take so long. They're so tedious. But you know, at least it's snow leopard and not like an African leopard, because the African leopards have so many spots and they're so small. You'll see me make like a little bit of a guide thingy for me here. Like I just draw a couple stripes to make sure that I keep the spots, or like draw the spots in the spots where they're supposed to be. But yeah, that turned out well, I guess. Like, it's just a little bit of a guide and to just make sure that everything is where it's meant to be. And I'm so happy with how he turned out. After the spots, just a little bit of detail work. I think I lost the last bit of footage, but he is finished with his clouds as well, and I'm just so happy with how he turned out. I love the contrast with his eyes especially. It's so nice. And we are on to Jupiter. Jupiter, oh my goodness, I love him. he's so fun. I struggle with him a little bit later on with the colors and stuff, but here we have the pose that I'm working out. I once again just combined a couple references, and we are skipping a little bit because I probably forgot to record this. Guys, please don't be mad at me, because you know this is like 20 plus hours of footage. Sometimes a little bit gets lost, okay? I'm sorry, can't do anything about it. We're on to the second sketch layer. But yeah, he's really cool. I probably should have done maybe some thumbnails first, because you'll see me struggle a little bit later, but we'll get there. But yeah, he's really cool. If you see this little detail, he has a couple broken teeth, and that ties into his backstory, because Jupiter used to be a man-eater, and you know, sometimes when big cats get injuries, like for example to their teeth or to their claws, they turn to hunting easier prey, which might, you know, in some cases be humans. So there's that. He's not a man-eater anymore, I promise. Only because the elementals can't eat, but you know, it's fine. I really like how this sketch turned out. I'm so happy with the pose especially. Yeah, tiger stripes are a lot more fun to draw than leopard spots. I don't know why. I think there's just a lot less of them, maybe. So you get a lot more done a lot quicker, I guess. I like drawing tiger stripes. They're really fun. In case you haven't noticed yet, Jupiter is a golden tiger. Golden tigers, I don't think they're actually like a subspecies of tiger, but they're really cool. I like them a lot. Just like the colors of them, which I didn't use for Jupiter at all, but the colors are really nice, and they're a little bit more on the stocky side. I don't really know why that is, but they're a little bit bigger than actual like normal tigers, I guess. Maybe that's because they're most I really don't know actually. I could speculate, but I wouldn't know. I like these colors a lot. He's reminding me of Halloween. I'm still in the Halloween spirit. I don't really have any like Halloween related characters, I guess. I've got a couple spooky characters, but he reminds me of a glowing pumpkin now. I struggle a little bit with the shading here because he's based on the sun, so he's kind of supposed to be glowing. So then how am I supposed to do the shading? Am I supposed to be doing any shading? No, I don't know. I don't remember whether or not I did any shading because it's been a while since I drew him. But I'm so happy with how he turned out. He looks so cool. He looks so cool. I really like just, I don't know, the attitude, I guess. Like, look at him. He looks so angry. He's my angry boy. I'm so happy with him. I love how he's just like starting to take shape and adding, you know, some details and some extra texture and some, you know, his claws and stuff. And this is where I start to struggle. Here's where I just want to somehow try make him look more like the sun, because he wasn't really looking too much like the sun yet. So I was experimenting with it. I'm like, okay, maybe I add some of these, like, what even would you call them? These markings, I guess, that the sun has, that are a little bit darker, and how do I draw those exactly, and how do I make sure that those don't take away from his tiger stripes? What do I do? Ooh, maybe I can add an outline that'll like make it look more like the sun, because the sun has kind of looks a little bit like it might have an outline. And maybe I can make him glow, maybe I can color the line work. So it's just experimenting and trying, seeing what sticks and what doesn't stick, and whether or not I want those whiskers colored or not. I went back and forth on that quite a bit, but I like them colored a lot. And yeah, just adding some solar flares finally, and that's gonna be it. Just kidding, I'm gonna struggle with these solar flares for a little bit. But I really like how he turned out. He turned out so nicely. So just, gosh, so happy with him. Can you tell that I love my characters so much? Because I love my characters so much. I'm so happy with them. Especially like the latest characters that I've just gotten a lot more design elements thrown in, I guess. Like some of the earlier characters I designed when I was 14, 15, so there's not that much to them. But with these later ones that I designed, like, I don't know, like yesterday, I guess, they are turning out so nicely, and I'm so happy with it. Anyway, is Jupiter finished? On to the final character for today. We've got Hella. Yeah, there she is. Oh my goodness, she was also really fun. I actually streamed this on a Discord server of my friend Aino, and it was fun. It was fun to like show my process a little bit. I enjoyed it. Yeah, so Hella is Shadow Lioness. You'll see me sketch out some shadows real quick. And I was debating giving her a lot more shadows around her cheeks and stuff, like, almost like a mane. But I didn't want her to look too much like Umbra, because Umbra is another shadow line that I have, and he does have like a big shadow mane, so I didn't want them to look too similar. Also, because she was also going to be black and then have colored shadows, I didn't want her to be basically a shiny version of Umbra. So that's that. This shading I'm so happy with. I really enjoy shading black fur, and it was just so happy with her. She turned out so nicely. I didn't do too much. Oh my gosh, that was a concept of Zenith. I got distracted, sorry, but Zenith is another character. Zenith has, like, I did 2 versions of him, so when he comes up, we'll discuss that in, like, some future video. I don't remember when he's gonna be, or if he's already been. I haven't made a YouTube video in a while. Anyway, Hella's fur was so much fun to shade, and just, not necessarily her fur, maybe just, like, her muscles. Because lionesses are so ripped, dude. They're so muscular and so strong, such cool animals. But I am just so chuffed with how she turned out. So now I'm going to be adding some final details, and then we're on to the shadows. And these shadows I am really happy with. I like how I got the flow of them right, because sometimes that's a bit tricky, because I don't want them to look too much like fire. But I just feel like they look really nice, and I did add a little bit of negative space with erasing some of the bits to kind of show the direction of the shadow more, and I give them green colors because it looks cool. And that's it for this video, I guess. Like, here's the Headless final results. That was all the characters for this video. Yeah, it's been a while since I made a YouTube video, so I probably need to come up with a new outro because, you know, I'm not going to be uploading every single Friday anymore, but we'll see. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video all the way to the end. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like and subscribe to this YouTube channel for more art videos whenever those happen. Anyway, thanks for watching. Bye. Keep on sketching.